For more on China's political season and relations with the U.S., Neysun Mahboubi joins us from Philadelphia. He's a research scholar at the Center for the Study of Contemporary China at the University of Pennsylvania. Let's start with, as former President Obama called it, the most important bilateral relationship of the 21st century. Of course, the relationship between the United States and China. It's been frayed. Where do you see things as they stand today?
Well, clearly, we are in a particularly fraught moment in the midst of a particular fraught few years. There's so much that has gone on since the beginning of the Trump administration and continuing through the Biden administration. But of course, the current war in Ukraine and considerations about what China's perspective on it is are, I think, making the present moment additionally fraught. And we'll have to see if there is a way that Chinese diplomacy can perhaps get out of the particularly tough moment it is now vis-a-vis the United States.
Let's talk about trade because we kind of thought, or I shouldn't say we, some analysts felt like with the Biden presidency, there'd be a reset in terms of the Trump policies, that perhaps he'd step down from them. We really haven't seen much of a change. Where is the situation with trade right now between these two countries?
Yeah, I mean, clearly the tariffs have largely remained in place. The USTR is still talking about maybe even opening a new Section 301 investigation. There's continuing concern about China's non-market practices. On the flip side, there's on the Chinese side to say there's some maybe some possibility of opening up China to foreigners again, maybe lifting some of the COVID controls and facilitating economic ties through that, but we haven't seen that yet. And so leading up to this past couple of weeks, that was already a relatively tense picture. But again, I do think that the current moment in Ukraine is adding some fuel to the tensions between the two countries. And again, it'll be very interesting to see if diplomatic efforts on both sides are able to get out of the ditch they're in right now.
Neysun, for those of us who watch the two sessions every year, there are a lot of work reports. Everyone kind of highlights on numbers. What are you looking for? I know Premier Li Keqiang is going to have his report shortly. What are you looking for? What are some of the highlights as you see them?
I think the big ones are going to be obviously always looking at what the growth targets are. But then in recent months and in the past year, there's been a lot of activity around the tech sector and also around the property sector, and seeing what kind of signals are given in terms of potentially more regulatory crackdown on the tech sector, potentially some lessening of some of the regulation on the property sector. And then lastly, I think a lot of people are interested to see if there will be some signals about a potential loosening of the COVID policy, the zero COVID policy. Perhaps there is some chance that there will be some steps taken or some signal sent that there may be some loosening in the near future. Those are the big things that I'll be looking for.